Podcast where it's me and it's Josh. Hopefully, hello.
Hello, it's me.
Yeah,
I
hope
hope
it's
me.
That's
That's nice.
I always hope it's you. Yeah, it's nice to always have you on the other end of the call. To be honest, it's always nice to have you here. So, how have you been? You know, we just talked about an accident you've had. Do you want to tell people about your little accident?
Cut my thumb. See that? Whew, cut it. Metal cut, not paper cut. Metal cut. Deep. I didn't cry. Did have a Minnie Mouse plaster. Being a father, there are plasters which don't normally conform to the standard beige. So yeah, I think there's a Minnie Mouse plaster I had on, which made me feel like I was being a brave boy.
Good.
Had a haircut. I had a haircut. I don't know if I didn't have a haircut last time.
Oh no, yeah, is your big quiff gone? Like you had the big.
Oh, yeah. I got rid of that. Yeah.
Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, my Jimmy Neutron's gone. Yeah, and I was thinking earlier, what is the? Because what came to my head was a word to describe cool. Because I was just thinking about myself.
Nice.
But what is the kind of? We're obviously out of touch with the youth of today. What is the most kind of modern and kind of youth slang word that you think you know?
Well, that I know, or I know that they use.
Well,
because I don't know what woke means, but I know that it's a very youthful youth term.
You don't know what woke means?
What the hell does it mean to be woke?
It's kind of you're awoken to the kind of political discourse of the world, so you're not just ignorant to it all. You're woke. You kind of like, okay, you appreciate there's a kind of plastic crisis. You appreciate there's a climate crisis. So you're politically engaged. You're woke. You're kind of alert and aware of things.
And you can't just say aware.
You could. Don't be like that, Dave. Language just morphs throughout generations. It's good. It's woke. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to be woke. I want to be aware. Anyway, why did you ask, Josh? Why did you ask?
Would you describe yourself as woke?
No, I'm not woke. I'm quite an old man in my life. Yeah, no, I'm aware. I'm aware of the situation that's going on. I'm not woke of it. That doesn't make sense.
You don't use single-use plastics, do you?
I very rarely use single-use plastic. Sometimes you can't avoid it, but
no, unfortunately, you're aware of kind of like the. Oh, actually, no, let's get this.
Yeah, what the hell are we talking about? Why did you ask me that question?
Well, because I realised that I don't like. I was thinking, the word that came into my head was fleek, and I was like, oh, I don't really know what that word means.
Okay.
And
I thought it had a better point than that, but fine. Welcome to Football Talk. Yeah, welcome to Football Talk. Right, 1 week to go, Josh, until the Premier League starts. It's very exciting. Actually, 6 days. 6 days until the Premier League starts.
Who's your opening game against, Dave?
We're not playing. Our opening game is midweek against Villa, I think.
What? There's not a full round of opening game yet?
No,
this is
because we were in Europa League later stages. Us and Man City don't play opening week. Because of latter stages of Europe.
Oh, because you were in. Well, I was about to say you're getting some. Whereas Spurs are playing like every day for like a month.
Well, yeah, that's your own problem. I am a bit concerned because Man United haven't done any sort of pre-season friendlies.
Have you not had any?
We've not had any because of the late season finish. Us and Man City haven't had any pre-season friendlies. So the Man United players that played for England and the Man City players that played for England, that's their first game of football. Well, official game of football since last season. Yeah. So
that probably explains why England looked so poor yesterday.
I know, it was pretty dreadful, but we don't really touch on international football, especially in crappy competitions like the Nations League. So
well, we were all over the Nations League, 18 months ago. I don't know. It does seem like something could have been done for international football in this time because, as I mentioned, Spurs are playing a lot of football.
Yes, yeah.
And Harry Kane will break again.
He always breaks at some point. He always breaks. So
that's because you've had one striker for the last 4 years, and with Fernando Llorente doing his best impression of a striker, but couldn't really run at points. But yeah, we need a backup striker.
Was he given a fair crack at being a striker for Spurs, though? I would argue he wasn't, Fernando Llorente.
No, I'd say that when you have such a drop off between the two, and it's a very different style of play. If you have players who are I'd say that Manchester United have interchangeable strikers because they offer similar. Styles.
Apart from Igalo.
Yeah. Whereas Fernando Llorente playing up front is very different to Harry Kane playing up front. So I think there's a reluctance to do it because it's like, all right, we sort of changed the way we play. It's very slow.
Yeah.
I mean, Kane's not exactly rapid, but it was just a bit different. So, because obviously the season before he joined us, he showed that he could lead a line in the Premier League with Swansea. He scored something like 12, 15 goals. So it wasn't like he wasn't capable. It's just that it was a different style of play, and maybe it was just, I don't know, does that point to Levy signing him rather than Pochettino?
Yeah, the ironic thing is that Llorente would probably suit Mourinho as a backup.
Yes, he likes big.
Yeah,
he
backup
likes big
target man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, 1 week to go. 1 week to go.
1 week to go.
How you feeling?
Man United have signed a player.
Man, we have signed Donny van der Beek, who quite well, very highly rated. Has done very well in Europe for Ajax. Obviously, I don't watch much of the Eredivisie, so I'm not going to know how his league thing is. Gives us good squad depth, I think.
Does he improve your first 11?
No, but he wasn't signed for that. I honestly don't think he. At the moment, this season, no, he doesn't, and I don't think he was signed for it. I think he's going to have a year where basically him and Matic, I can see him like. My vision for this season is to see him come on to replace Matic after about 65 minutes in most games.
He's a lot more forward-thinking than Matic, though.
He is, but I think that's why he's not going to be straight into the starting 11. That's why I don't think he's been bought for the starting 11 this year. He's either...
I don't even think he could. I don't think you could have a midfield three of Van der Beek.
No, Pogba and Bruno.
And Bruno, no.
No, I don't think... I agree with you. I don't think we could either. I think...
It's not to say you shouldn't sign players like that, but I would have thought... And maybe it's just an opportunity too good to refuse at the time to buy him, because it does seem there has been a downturn in fees, isn't there? In terms, it definitely got a lot more calm, the fees this year, because it's not eye-watering sums of money for him. He's a good player.
Yeah.
And I obviously watched him when Spurs played Ajax a couple of times, and he was very good. But I feel like he was operating his full capabilities because they were just the form side. And he was good. It was all flicks and touches, and he was just really highly confident.
I think a lot of people have found that from that Ajax team, though, that when they've been taken out of that Ajax team, they haven't performed as well.
Just a Dutch Phil Jones, Dutch Phil Jones.
But I think, I think he could. He's relative. He's 23, I think 23, 24, and he can he can grow. I think again, it opens up that avenue that if we do sell Pogba next season, there is a box-to-box midfielder there that can sort of replace him anyway.
What is Pogba? Got 2 years left in his contract then, has he?
He's got 2 years left, and he's got discussions are ongoing about a new contract.
Right.
But I don't think that really means anything. I think.
So I before you mentioned it, I would have guessed that he was out of contract next year, but
no, I don't think he is. I think he's got another season after that. But I think this is going to be Matic's last season. I can't see Matic having another season like this at the sort of top, what I would deem the top level of football. But you can make your jokes that Man United aren't a top club anymore and all that.
You cut there. Yeah, that was about to happen.
And I think it could be with an eye to, well, actually. The crux of the issue is, Josh, is that we don't have squad depth, and we needed someone that can come in when Pogba and Bruno are injured.
Off the bench, would you rather Jesse Lingard or Andreas Pereira come on? Is it Pereira?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or would you rather Donny van der Beek come on?
Yeah, Donny van der Beek. It's easy.
Yeah. I've got a lot of love for what the Ajax players are doing in the respect of Appy Nouri. A lot of them are choosing the number 34, which I think is really, really nice. So obviously, Van der Beek's done it. I think Kluivert had done it at Roma.
Yeah.
Even Joel Veltman, I think, has done it at Brighton. He just joined Brighton for like 0.9 million. And I think there's a few others around the world who've done it as well, which is lovely to see. Yeah, it is. It's very good. I think he was a very well-respected player, and I think he was obviously. It shows he was much loved. I think before the incident. Yeah. And it is really nice to see. Yeah, it's really nice to see. And that isn't the only... And obviously we do make these a bit Man United and Spursy transfer-centric when we talk about them and what's going on. But there are other ones happening. Wolves dropping a bit of a bomb in the ocean with some £35 million for João Pedro, is it, I think? Fabio Silva?
That's Fabio Silva. I was getting mixed up between João Felix and... Pedro
and Fabio Silva.
Pedro and everyone.
You picked names from your Portuguese repertoire. I meant, yeah.
The spreadsheet was out.
You did your filter. You filtered your
Portuguese.
Yeah.
So
that is Jorge Mendes all over, isn't it?
Oh, 100%.
Like the amount of João Felix went for last summer. I mean, Fabio Silva. Christ, Fabio. I did honestly when I first saw it, I was like, have they signed Fabio from? I don't know where Fabio is. He's the former
Man
Man United
United.
twin fullback.
Yeah.
The lesser of the two.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, it reeks of Jorge Mendes. That does. Because they're just overpaying for a player who's played like 11 appearances, a couple of goals. It's
Is it overpaying?
it may work. It might work, but
Yeah, I think he's very, very highly regarded. I think he's very ranked as high potential. Is he? Is it Wolves having a strategy for when they finally sell Jimenez because they can't keep hold of him because he's still scoring goals?
Jimenez is like 29. He's not. His resale value kind of. He's had his two best seasons in his professional career in the last two seasons. One of the both in the Premier League, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he obviously, and he was getting run into the ground, but the thing is, like you saw when Adama Traore joined, maybe he's a different case, joined Wolves. It takes a lot of adapting to Nuno's kind of side. So I'd be surprised if he hits the ground running. We've obviously had play and go up front. Who's the Italian guy who came in? Did all right. Catrone came in and fulfilled like whatever Nuno was requiring. But I mean, it worked. It was easier when Wolves were in the Championship signing kind of these Portuguese players and bedding them in because they were the biggest fish in the pond. They had the players could adapt, and I think it might take a little bit longer. But yeah, so it's pressure off Jimenez up top if he gets any game time. But there's been a few signings, haven't there? We've got obviously the West Ham one that's brought Mark Noble to Twitter. Did you see that?
Oh, I did. Yes, I did. And it's very rare. Well, two things here. It's very rare for a player captain of a club to come out on Twitter to be as vocal as that. And it's I would say even rarer that when they do that, it doesn't get deleted. It's still there. It's still live. It's still up. It's still active. Mark Noble showing his absolute disgust at West Ham. Disgust at West Ham selling their best youngster. I don't know enough about him. I've seen him play a couple of times, but
yeah, I remember when before he went on his loan to West Brom last year. I saw him and he looked very raw, really raw, but like a really quick turn of pace and shifted the ball and dribbled players. I took a shot. It looked really quite handy, but really raw. By all accounts, had a very good season on loan and been signed permanently. And yeah, this is Dan Garner, in case anybody's not aware. But Mark Noble came out and said, I can't remember the actual words, but then Jack Wilshere also backed it up and just criticised the board for selling him and all the best, but he was very angry at the club for letting him go, basically.
It's a strange situation because if you're a West Ham fan and you end up, if that sale means you can buy in let's say I think it's a centre back that David Moyes is after. I think that's been what's reported. If he buys in a centre back that then puts West Ham into the top half of the table, let's say, and you have a good season as West Ham, are you still mad at the end of the season? Are you still pissed off that they?
I just feel like there's
because if there's no money,
they can raise funds for it. I can't be the only player that people are interested in.
Well, it might be.
It might be, but yeah, I'm seeing that with Spurs. Obviously, Spurs are at a point of selling players, and there's rumours we're held up in terms of buying a centre forward because we haven't yet sold Serge Aurier. It's all about balancing the books, and we kind of left it. We'll be leaving ourselves a bit light at right back to strengthen other places. Would have sold Kyle Walker-Peters and probably Serge Aurier, replaced with Matt Doherty, and then someone else can be backfilling that, so we can raise funds to buy a backup striker. And it's a bit of unless you're the Chelsea's and Man City's and Man United, it's a balancing act of kind of fund redistribution here, and it's not easy, but very rarely do you get yourself in a position where you have two strong players in each position, especially at this time, because there is uncertainty. Because I mean, Chelsea have gone out and done it, but there is uncertainty of like a lot of clubs are reliant on gate receipts. We don't know when it's going to be open, but we're doing trials. But if there's a second wave in October, November time, they'll shut that right down, and all that money will go away again, and it could be another season without ticket revenue. It's like refunding season ticket revenue. It's like, well, it's just going to be cataclysmic for clubs, and so if they've over-egged themselves, they just can't do it.
I agree, and that's why I think in the balancing the books for West Ham, if that's the only player they could have sold to bring in a target that they wanted for the manager, it sort of has to be done, doesn't it? If the manager doesn't feel his squad's right, and the only interest they have is in that player. How many of the West Ham first or best 16 players are going to be wanted by another club? Not many. Most of them are like 29, 30, 31. Like, it's...
They have got some other player, but I was looking. There's a really strong English core that they've got. Actually, I not really appreciate it when you look through the side.
Yeah,
and obviously they're not top rate, but you've got Jared Bowen's done very well. Antonio had a really good end to last season. So you could have had Dean Garner and that. You got Declan Rice and Noble. You got Cresswell, Ryan Fredericks. It's a good English core they had there. I hadn't really appreciated it, but Cresswell I think is getting on a bit, as you mentioned. Noble's obviously getting on a bit. Antonio is hit and miss. Yeah, but there aren't many. Declan Rice is the one rumoured. Chelsea just going to. I can't quite see why they're so interested in Declan Rice, if I'm honest.
Well, this is the other thing. If you're a West Ham fan and your options were sell Dean Garner or sell Declan Rice, which one do you sell? That's the thing now. They might be able to keep Declan Rice by selling Dean Garner because they've got the money to buy whoever they wanted now.
Different sums of money being talked about between the two players, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see both sold, to be honest with you.
Yeah, okay.
But the problem I'd have as a West Ham fan now is that, what's running through my head is a question to you. I'll ask it after this, but do you feel like that West Ham are going to reinvest that money wisely?
No.
Okay, my then question to you is, who would you rather have owners of your club? I was going to call them by their name, but I won't. The West Ham owners or the Newcastle owners, who would you rather have running your club?
Do you know what? It's probably Mike Ashley.
I think it might be the same.
I think it probably right now in this moment of time, it probably is Mike Ashley, rather running my club than David Gold and the Dildo Brothers or whatever they're called. So.
You said it. I was trying to keep it family friendly at 9 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yeah. Well, it's not here though, is it?
Is it because it's later in Singapore? You feel like you're able to say that?
Yeah, 4:20. We have got a question just quickly because you touched on it. And Chelsea, have Chelsea overspent on Kai Havertz?
I think it's really unlikely you can overspend on a player who is still got so much ahead of him, and as long as you play him and he does stuff, he's got so much room potential, and he's obviously spoken about as a kind of world beater in the making. I would be surprised if they weren't able to recoup money on him in the future. So, and it's spread over such a long time. It's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong; it's a lot of money. Same amount they spent on Kepa, and they obviously overspent there. But I'm just more concerned around Chelsea in general. But I don't think maybe a touch, but not overly. I wouldn't say overspending on Kai.
We'll say that I think Chelsea's going to be a good chat in the predictions that we get onto in a little bit. So we'll leave that there. But other signings, you've got Everton starting to splash the cash. Alan and Doucouré. Well, Doucouré's not official yet, is he?
No, Doucouré seems like it's going to be tomorrow. James again will be this week. Alan is the one in, and I'm still concerned for. Well, one, I was thinking how many more, because James typically operates. He's not really going to operate wide in an Everton side. He's not going to pace to operate wide, especially if they seem to like kind of Richarlison or Bernard or Walcott being a bit pacier. So they have got to sell. They signed Alan, Doucouré, James. They got Delph. They got Sigurdsson. They got Gambin, is it?
Yeah. Andre
Gomez, they got Tom Davies, they got so many central players, and I think both have got to adapt to a new league. So as I reiterate, I don't see them pulling up trees in the first season. Maybe Alan more so. The defensive side of things is a bit more simple. He's obviously a tough tackling midfielder. Doucouré, I've never been over. I've been constantly underwhelmed with personally. So. It's a brand new central midfield. I think we'll talk about predictions, but I don't think it's going to revolutionise Everton personally. But maybe just more people who can buy, because obviously two of those Ancelotti's had before can maybe buy into the system and bring the others along with the journey. But the transfer we need to talk about, which didn't happen, which I'm going to say I called Messi.
Yeah,
that was fun while it lasted, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I think it's the prediction that most people saw coming, like the end.
Oh, yeah, man. Let's talk about predictions, Dave. What about the Community Shield match? we should maybe bet regularly, and so we could see, just for fun, to see who's better. Because I don't know if anyone tuned in last week. I made the statement that I thought Arsenal would win the Community Shield on penalties. Dave, you put a bet. I think was it Chelsea? Liverpool to win in
normal time. I played it safe.
Played it safe. Yeah. And yeah, with the rest history. I say. Yeah.
Yes. Josh won that bet, which has led to. I mean, we'll segue into it right now. Why not? We'll go into it right now. It's led to a new feature, which I have magnificently called Sensible Betting with Josh and Dave, because titles are the expertise that we have. You'll see on the screen now on YouTube. What we've done. We'll quickly explain this. We have said each of us have £20 to spend for betting for the whole season. Once it's gone, it's gone. It's meant to be a bit of fun. We're going to do it small bets, make it sensible. Obviously, we are fully aware we've had discussions about betting on this channel, and that was taken into account when we were coming up with this feature and everything that we wanted to do. But we've decided that rather than Super 6, because I found that very hard to do with the time difference, and because I generally have to wake up, go to sleep, and then wake back up to watch the games anyway, we thought betting's a little bit of an easier thing to do. So we've given ourselves £20 from now until the end of the season. We have to stick with that 20 quid, and once it's gone, it's gone. And we could put some bets down to start off. And I've lost Josh on Skype, which shows how live this is. Josh, you've disappeared. This is live, people. We're just gonna try and call Josh back. Obviously, we are calling over over 2 different countries. So apologies, folks. Apologies. And Josh has just also texted me. I've frozen on my end. He's frozen on my end. This is this is live. Josh is unavailable, apparently. If you're still there on YouTube, hello. Let's just go to a very quick. I don't know what even page to go to. We're having some technical difficulties right now. Apologies. I think if I go to that and let's turn off that and that. Let's go to the thumbnail for now. Apologies for this, folks. I think there's an issue with both of us on Skype at the moment. It's very live. Just trying to arrange with Josh how we can do this. Just as we're getting to the interesting point about what our new feature was, the system has gone down. Yeah, Josh's internet has completely zonked. So, yeah, so I'll just very quickly talk you through what's happening. So we're getting 20 quid each, and that is going to last us the whole season. And we can bet as and when we like over the weekend. So and we said what it would be is basically 20 quid, £5 down to do our first bets. And these bets are going to be a bet that you won't get the payout until the end of the season. If it's successful, it won't be paid out until the end of the season. And then you get the rest of the £15, Great British pounds, as is to be used for as long as you can to make as much money as you hopefully can over the fixtures that will be coming up in the Premier League. And you can use it on Premier League, Europa League, Champions League, internationals, whatever you like, to make money. It will generally be done over the Premier League so that we can talk about it in our podcasts. And what we've done is I will wait for Josh to come back as he resets his router. He's just texted me. And we'll go through our first bets that we've placed for our season-long bets. And they were on the screen very quickly earlier, so you may have already seen them, but we're going to talk them through with Josh and everything like that when he's back. And he is calling me right now. Hopefully this is the return of Josh. There, he's back. Right, he's back. I've kept this going, Josh. I've been
Oh, well, just give me a second and I'll quickly tell you what happened.
Preambling. Hang on. You are back on the screen, I think. You're there. I'm frozen on mine for some reason.
Oh, this is...
But you keep going, Joshua. You keep going.
Well, to give you an insight into what happened there, it was obviously I worked my magic and managed to turn the internet back on after my wife had turned it off at the wall because the TV downstairs wasn't working. So turned all the switches off and turned the internet
Oh, Tron.
off.
What is she playing
Yeah,
at?
absolute shock. So I shut down. I was like, "Something wrong with the internet?" She went, "Oh my god." Then I go, "Can Dave cut that bit out?" I was like, "It's actually live."
It's
And I was like,
live,
"Oh,
Ant. It's live.
yeah, we'll cut that live. We'll just kind of Mission Impossible, Men in Black people. Forget that last 5 minutes ever happened."
Right. Well, while I sort out my Skype so that it's not frozen anymore, Josh, I've described the new feature. Talk us through your 3 pre-season bets.
My 3 pre-season bets. Well, can I just say that I actually wanted to originally call this You Bet or We Bet, and Dave had no idea that this program ever existed. So if you're listening, watching, please get in contact if you know what the program was. You Bet, because I personally thought it was a great program when I was younger. Loved it. Dave has no idea it happened, so therefore immediately threw out the window my option of calling it You Bet or We Bet and using the old theme and stuff. He wouldn't have it. But my 3 bets that I've placed. So I've bet on a bottom 3. So I think that all 3 to be relegated, not in specific order, but I think that certain 3 teams are going to get relegated. Should we go through them or we'll leave that to our predictions, Dave?
No, we'll leave those. Well, they're on the screen, so they know who you've predicted to get relegated.
Okay.
If they're the same as you're betting.
Yes, they are. Yeah, that'd be somewhat. I mean, hedging my bet slightly if I was doing that, but I've very much reiterated my predictions. So Aston Villa, West Brom, Fulham to be relegated. I just think I don't have predictions, but I don't think that's one returns quite a lot of money because obviously 3 teams and 3 positions has to be chosen. That's my kind of big returner. I've also bet on Tottenham to win a major trophy. Now, typically, I know if you look back at my betting history, I would win by betting the opposite to and to the negative, to the detriment of Spurs.
Yeah.
I'll bet on I bet on Liverpool to win the Champions League final because I was like, well, at least I get some money back if it happens. And it did. But yeah, I thought, you know what, Jose Mourinho. I've seen how he's behaving in the All or Nothing program.
No spoilers. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, well, crack on, Dave. I'm a fan, and I think you know what, we can do something this season. So that's one bet. That's my second bet.
Question.
And my third bet.
Question. What's major? Is it everything but the League Cup?
No, I think the League Cup. I think it's League. I think it's a trophy this season. I think it will be.
Why have the word major in there then?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Oh.
I'm assuming I'll have to check. I'll check with Bet365, the supplier of my betting needs.
Yeah.
It's not a need, it's a want. I don't need it.
Yeah.
It's just,
we will emphasise that a lot during this feature. That this is just for fun. We're only betting money that we can afford. Hence,
we're not. As Dave said, we're not funding that account. It's just to spend what you can. It's just a little bit of fun. It's a bit of fun.
That's why it's £20. We're not well off.
We will be after, Dave.
Yes. Well, you could potentially be £34.
Actually, I watched a film last night and it involved an element of betting. It was the Adam Sandler film Uncut Gems. Don't know if anyone's seen it.
I've not seen it. It's on my list to watch on Netflix. Yeah.
It was. I mean, I found the music very odd, and it was okay. But I thought it was Adam Sandler was very good. It was very tense throughout, just following this one guy's life, and he likes a bit of sport betting.
Okay.
But he likes it a bit too much.
Okay. Not like us, just the right amount.
Wrong end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Have you gone through your bets, Dave?
No, I haven't yet. So.
Well, my final bet. Sorry, was top 2. I've chosen. I think who are going to be first and second. And Man City, Liverpool, Man City in first, because I think it ebbs and flows with, I don't think they'll be retaining the title. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And yours that's a total bet of £5 on those 3 bets for a potential return of £34 and 16 English pence, which
Absolutely.
is just judging by potential return, Josh, you've gone much riskier than me.
Yes, and it is that one bet. There's one that bottom 3 is a £19 Behemoth.
Yeah, the thing is, I look at that and I think that it must be Villa that pushes that odds up. Because surely West Brom and Fulham are favourites.
Yeah,
to go down.
maybe.
But
I can't imagine Aston Villa are well out of the mix, though.
no, true, very true. So my 3 bets for the £5 that I had, I've gone for. Again, sort of giving away some predictions that I've predicted for the season this year. Chelsea getting a top 4 spot, Man United top 6, and Everton top 10, which I think is all good. So that means because I'll give something away. In my predictions, I have Chelsea and Man United in the top 4. So if that happens, then I've got them one in the top 4 and one in the top 6. That's fine.
Well, we can guess your top 4 then, can't we?
Yes, you can. But what order, Josh? That's the question. I've gone for Martial to score 18 or more goals in the Premier League this season on the basis
Lost
that he's...
money. Dave, literally, go to a nearest drain and pour that money down it, Dave. Absolute lost money, mate.
No, he scored 17 last season in the league. I reckon he's got...
Man United were overachieving. He did score.
He's got one
17.
more goal in him this season. I reckon at least one more goal.
Say it.
And then my favourite bet is Kevin De Bruyne to score 6 or more goals from outside the box, which I think is surely nailed on. I feel like, how can that not happen? He hits free kicks from outside the box.
He does. Do we know how many he scored last season outside the box?
No, I haven't done that sort of research. I only did it for Martial's one. So
I was looking at one number.
yeah, exactly. So no, you're the statistician, isn't it? You're the statistics guy for the pod. I'm the looker.
Okay. Well, I'll have a look, see what De Bruyne comes in, and I'll let you know. But if anyone listening, watching wants to see if they can find out how many De Bruyne in the Premier League is that?
Yeah, just in the Premier League. Yeah.
Premier League, how many De Bruyne got from outside the box last year? I imagine it'll be there. But I can picture a number of goals from outside the box.
I reckon he's got 5, and they've added one onto it, like Anthony Martial's goal scoring bet, to make it tempting. Ross does say yes. You bet was awesome. It was Matthew Kelly on a Saturday night. On a Saturday. Yeah.
We have not hired Matthew Kelly to host this.
No. Josh did send me the theme tune.
Go to open the fridge right now.
Josh, you sent me the theme tune and it didn't ring any bells with me. Do you know what? Weirdly today, when I was walking back from lunch, and I did have this image of the game you described, but I was like, I definitely can't remember it, and I think I've just made it up in my head from what you described it as. So
yeah. But yeah, maybe try and find a full episode. I mean, if you're in England, you'd definitely be able to find it on like UK TV Gold or something.
Yeah. But okay, so that's the betting. And what ideas have you got for your first betting of the matches? Because obviously we're going to come back and review the matches, and with that we'll review our bets that we put on. Are we going to tweet out about the bets that we put on? Are we going to mention it
so
somehow?
once I place my bets, I'll put the image out and tweet it so we can see, and then we'll kind of review it, and then might get into a situation where we get familiar with it, kind of betting, saying what the bet will be, or maybe it will just generate from discussions. Well, next week I'll have that bet. But at the moment, I haven't really thought about next week. I imagine I'll do some form of I do like a scorecast or a forecast, but they're obviously less likely to win.
Yeah,
they're a bit more higher stakes. And I think I might have, because it'll be 2 bets a week. Is there a minimum or a maximum, or is it?
I'm going to say it's your. I think we know we've picked a limit that we can afford, and this has got to last us the season. So once it's gone, and it's up to you how you spend it. If you wanted to do £21 bets or 15 £1 bets in the first week, you can go for it. But if you lose them all, and you're out of the game.
Oh, we not maxing the two bets a week?
I think we can do it. I will probably go maximum 3 bets a week in one weekend.
Okay.
I think.
I do always like a little bit of accumulator, though. I do like that.
Yeah, see, I love an accumulator as well, but I think that's not the sensible bet, and I'm trying to try and do this sensibly. I'm going to try and do this.
I might just do a little bit of a 10p or a pence, like kind of 10, 20, 30p, maybe like get a little, so I can have a little accumulator fun, because that might, like 10p, it might just come in, like especially on the first round of matches, what we'll get to review next week. We've got Saturday's match. We've got 4 matches: Fulham, Arsenal, Palace, Southampton, West Ham, Newcastle, Liverpool, Leeds. Little accumulator on that. 4 matches, little 10p.
And do you know what? I didn't even think about pence bets. I'm in.
Penny stocks. We're a Wolf of Wall Street. This is.
Yeah, all right. I'll take that. We're just like the Wolf of Wall Street on Football Talk. I absolutely love it. I haven't really thought about it at all yet either, what I'm going to bet on next week. But we'll definitely keep everyone informed. We'll put our tweets out. Obviously, different time zones, so most of you will be awake when Josh is doing his bets, and you'll probably react to his more than mine, because mine will be sent out at some ridiculous time in the morning in the UK. But it should be. I feel like this is going to keep me interested more than Soccer Saturday, because I
Which
feel
is
like
more. It's just there, and it's much more free form, isn't it? And so,
yeah,
obviously the winner, if there's a little bit of competition, who has more money in their account at the end of the season,
yeah.
well, or who just keeps. Well, it's not really a win. If I just place 10p bets, I'm going to outlast you, aren't I? So I was going to say the person who doesn't lose all their money first, but
Well, but Josh, no, it doesn't matter. But I think obviously it does matter. But I think I think the person who has the most money at the end is going to be someone that has one of those 3 bets that we placed today come in. I think we'll both.
Yeah.
I think we'll stay because we're both quite sensible. I think we'll stay around about. I think we'll end on around about the £15 mark, £15 to £20 in normal like money, and then if one of those bets comes in at the end, we'll be up. That's what I predict.
Imagine if one of us wins big. Oh,
Mate, it'd be
wow.
amazing. It'd be absolutely amazing. I'd love it. Absolutely love it. But let's move on because we did obviously have those technical difficulties created by Tron. That we will. So let's move on. So let's go to the quiz. Let's go to the quiz.
Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. Ooh la 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 la. It's quizzing time.
It is
Right.
quizzing time. It is
It is
quizzing
quizzing
time.
time, and this is a little quiz specifically made for Dave, obviously, and it's kind of Dave's wheelhouse. And this is a question: where are they now? Where are they? Where are they now? Where are they? And so I've got a list of players here, and a secondary quiz would be why have I chosen these players? But there's a list of 12 players here, and I want you to tell me where are they playing their football now?
That, Josh, is a quiz I can definitely get behind. I very much appreciate that quiz.
Oh dear!
It is. I think quizzes like this, I think they do play to my strengths a little bit more. I think they do.
Okay.
So, right. I say that. I'd have no idea for the first one. Raphael was at Lyon, but I don't know if he's still there.
Have you got a better guess than Leon?
I'm going to guess Lyon just because I know that he went there, but I don't know. Or is it Lyon? He's still at Lyon. 1 from 1.
Yeah, Leon, yeah.
Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Johnny Evans, Leicester.
Yes.
Wayne Rooney, Derby.
Yes. Oh, David.
I assume they're all still playing, yes? None are secretly retired.
Yeah, they all have a club attached
Yeah.
to them, yeah.
Anders Lindegaard. Oh. Burnley?
No.
Brighton? No, not Brighton. He might be like OB or something back in Denmark. Okay, we'll come back to him. Josh hasn't given anything away there. Josh is giving a...
No, you got 3 from 3, Dave. You don't need my help here. So, yeah.
Yeah, true. 3 from 3. Okay. Javier Hernandez. I know this. LA Galaxy, MLS.
LA Galaxy. La Galaxie, the
Yeah.
French team.
Probably recently played against Nani for Orlando.
Oh, wow. David.
Yeah, it does help that I'm currently doing a MLS save on Football Manager. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashley Young, Inter Milan.
Nice.
Danny Welbeck, Watford.
Yes.
Tom Cleverley, I still at Watford, I think.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I put them next to each other because I thought you might think Josh wouldn't put 2 Watfords next to each other, would he? But
Oh, Nick Powell is a very interesting one because he was at, last I remember he was at Wigan, but I'm pretty sure they've recently sold him either this summer or last January, and he's gone to a team that weren't far off promotion, I think, in the Championship. I'm gonna say I was going to say Brentford, but I'm pretty sure that's wrong. I'm going to take a stab in the dark with Hull City, but no, okay, we'll come back to that. Come back to that, because I think I'm in the right ballpark of saying a Championship club that were top half of the Championship, just nearly at promotion, nearly playoffs, I think. Shinji Kagawa, he's still playing. Wow. Shinji Kagawa, where's he? That is one I literally have no idea. I'll say Red Antlers in Japan.
No.
Okay. Is he still in Europe?
He is.
Oh, okay. Wow, no idea. And Alexandra Butner plays for the
Go on, Dave.
New England Revolution in the MLS.
Oh, smashed it.
Fucking
Well done,
boom.
Dave.
Sorry, language.
Whoa.
Oh,
Rocking, what's that? 75%, 9 out of 12.
delighted. Who did I? So Anders Lindegaard, I don't know.
Helsingborgs.
Oh, Helsingborg. So he's in Norway? No, Sweden.
I want to say
Sweden.
Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden. And then Nick Powell. Oh,
Stoke City.
who is it? Stoke. Oh,
Stoke. Yeah.
I knew he's championship. Maybe not near the top. Are they top half championship? I don't think they were.
They struggled and kind of top of the second half.
And then Shinji Kagawa.
Real Zaragoza.
Oh, wow. That's.
Who's he playing with? I feel like I should know people in the current squad. They got. No, not really. Alberto Zapata. I feel like I know that name.
Yeah, Zapata was striker, isn't he?
I think it was an attacking midfielder. I thought.
Oh, yeah.
Defensive midfielder. Sorry. Yeah. Who else is there? No.
So
no one.
You said there was like a second question as to why they're all on
Yes.
his
Why
list.
have I chosen these players?
They were all signed by Alex Ferguson? Although not all signed, but they all played under. They definitely all played under.
Well, I mean, that is a very safe bet of it. Yeah, the actual answer is they were all part of your final championship winning squad and made at least an appearance.
There you go.
And so they're all the ones that have left Man United and are still playing. So there's some players like De Gea who are still at Man United, still playing.
Yeah.
Rio Ferdinand, for example, was left because he's not playing anymore. These are ones still active, but not for Man United, who've won a championship with Man United.
Nice. Great.
What a strong
quiz.
list of players they are.
What a great. Well, hang on. Let's not be right. Raphael was a decent right back, not world class, but was decent. Still playing at a good level with Lyon. Champions League quarterfinalists, Lyon. Johnny Evans, Leicester, good level, still playing well, starting for them. Wayne Rooney, good player, still at Derby, like doing all right. Anders Lindegaard, yeah, okay, he's pretty rubbish. Javier Hernandez, great goal scorer when he played, still scoring goals now. Still plays for Mexico, I think, starting for him. Nani, really good winger. Ashley Young was solid. That's all I'm going to give him as praise. Danny Welbeck, youth product, was pretty good as an impact sub. Should have done better with Watford, struggle with injuries. Tom Cleverley, terrible. Nick Powell, never hit his potential. Shinji Kagawa, unfortunate. And Alexandra Butner was just, well, okay, he's the worst.
I've gone for a little 11 now. Left out Nick Powell as the weakest member. I've gone for Lindegaard in goal, Raphael right back, Ashley Young left back, Evans and Butner at centre back. Not quite Butner's strength. A midfield three of cleverly Rooney and Kagawa, and a front three of Nani, Hernandez and Welbeck.
Yeah. There you go.
That would do so bad.
And that shows, as is mentioned in the comments from Ross and Stu, saying that's how good Fergie was.
Yes.
So it's incredible, isn't it? He won a league title with Alexandra Butner, who we sold to Dynamo Kiev, I think, and then he didn't even cut it in Ukraine, so went to the MLS.
I mean, he is also the man who signed him, so it also points to Ferguson's strengths there.
Yeah, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. we don't worry about those sorts of things.
Right.
Okay. Is it anything else you wanted to talk about before we move? Because
let's pre-do it up. Predictions are up even.
Okay, so let's go then. I didn't have enough time to make a graphic for our predictions, Josh. So we're just in. By the way, everything's back to normal. All technical issues are done. So we're back to normal, Josh. Everything's working fine.
Yeah. Now I've told my wife to keep away from the plug sockets.
Yeah, exactly. Moise Javade has said, lads, you should make one of those quizzes for Spurs as well. So maybe next week, Josh, I can do a Where Are They Now for Spurs.
Oh, is he taking the mick because of the last time we won the title? But Where Are They Now? A 1961 squad. Like, yeah, deceased.
That would be amazing. That would be absolutely amazing. That would be brilliant.
I would happily have one. You can go from the same season if you want, and
I might because you haven't won the league. I might just do a mix of years with people that are still playing at different clubs.
I'll take it, Dave. I'll take it.
I'll try and do some research for that for next week. I think that'd be a good quiz.
I can't help but feel that question is well, it's quite funny to be honest with you. I can't. He's gonna if it's not if I've misread it and you've just been genuine about just another Spurs one. I feel like there's a little bit of a dig.
Yeah, but it's a great dig. It's a wonderful dig.
Good dig.
Well played. Owen's popped in. Said he's coming here for golf chat. Disappointed. It's all right, mate. That's I can't remember. Is that the right way I'm spinning? That's my practice golf mat there. So putting green in my house. Lovely stuff. Anyway, predictions. How do we want to do this, Josh? How do you want to do this?
So
top to bottom in the league.
Let's go. Let's start with the bottom of the league. The bottom three. What are you going for, Dave?
Bottom three. I have bottom of the table, Aston Villa.
Ooh. Okay.
I think they're going to struggle. I think they just held on by the skin of their teeth. I don't think they haven't recruited. They haven't bought. They need a goal-scoring striker. They need a keeper. I mean, this is based right now. I think if they do sign Sergio Romero,
because obviously we've got pretty much a month left of the transfer window. I think. So it's a lot of change. So obviously we're setting ourselves up for a fall here because Aston Villa may sign some great players. But I've literally used the words "skin of their teeth" for Aston Villa.
Yeah. I do think if they sign, I think Sergio Romero would be brilliant for them in goal because he's a wonderful shot stopper. And I think if they can keep Grealish, sign a striker, and reinforce the defence somehow, I think that would be pretty good. But at the moment, with the squad as it is, I'm going Aston Villa 20th.
There's just no goals up front there. Like Wesley was doing okay, but again, long-term injury. Will he be the same player? Tom Heaton, none of their goalkeepers performed. Tom Heaton, I thought, was going to, but didn't, and is out for another month or two at least. Yeah,
to be fair to Tom Heaton, he did okay until his massive shoulder injury. He wasn't doing badly. He was doing okay. But
but I still don't think he was saving more than he should have done in terms of the XG. I don't think he was overachieving. He was underachieving in that sense. But I think I've got Aston Villa going down, but in 19th for me.
Okay, so who's your 20th position then? Who's bottom?
West Brom, obviously.
West Brom, okay, yeah.
West Brom are just much like Norwich, the up and downers, the old flippy floppers. They just go up. Boring football. Maybe different after Bilic, but I don't have any affinity with West Brom. Their kit mainly, their kit and stadium a bit would make me feel. Their nets as well. I don't like their nets. I think they often had darker coloured nets, not rather than the white net. I mean, that's disgusting. The best net is Barcelona. Barcelona have the best nets.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like I'm sounding a bit like Trump. Great nets, beautiful nets. Great nets. Great, the best nets ever. But West Brom, their kit, stadium.
West Brom's away kit, literally makes me want to vomit. The green and yellow thin stripes, thick stripe thing. No, don't like that. But so we've got 19th and 20th sort of just flipped. So
okay, all right.
Have we gone 18th? Well, yours is Fulham. I know that.
Mine is Fulham. Yours is not going to be Fulham. I reckon you got a little bit of Scott Parker love in your life.
You are wrong. Mine is Fulham.
Oh!
Yeah.
I hate Scott Parker.
I've got Fulham at 18th. And I've got a lot of we plan, in inverted commas, our podcasts in a little bit in advance, but we've made sure that we're not allowed to look at each other's predictions for this bit.
Yes.
Mine have got question marks all over the place with teams in this, to the point where one of them, mid-table, that was the only place I had them left to go, and when I put them in, I was like, that's far too high. But anyway, so I've got Fulham in 18th. I just think they're gonna. I think it's dependent a lot on their character. It's dependent on a lot of Mitrovic playing well, and that is a risk.
Yeah, they are reliant on Mitrovic, and they are reliant. They do need some more new recruits in. And obviously got some players back who, Anguissa and Seri, who obviously didn't perform in the Premier League last time round. They're back. Are they going to buy into it, or do they want out? They had a core of a good side. They weren't so heavily reliant on loans last year, but I don't know. I think it's a lot to ask.
Agreed.
A lot to ask. So we have two of the promoted three getting relegated, and Aston Villa joining who were promoted the season before. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Are we going to work our way up?
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Keep working. Let's work our way up to the top.
I've gone for this due to this side, and now they are my surprise package. This is again a surprise negative package, like I did with Bournemouth last year.
Yep.
Oh no, Southampton was last year, wasn't it? And I think they kind of just about surprised. But this is Burnley I've gone for here.
Oh, you're saying Burnley just to hold on?
just to hold on. They're just for lack of squad turnover. I think I'm not saying turnover is a good thing, but they really need to freshen some stuff up every now and then. It's just if Tarkovsky or me get an injury, and Chris Wood's always going to be dependable. They're dependable, but I think I think we're maybe grow a bit stagnant, and I think they might have some struggles.
Okay, well, in a good way, Josh, I think we're going to be very different for our predictions this year. Last year we had very similar ones. I've gone Sheffield United in 17th. I think second season syndrome, and I think they're just going to hang on. So I think they could do a Villa and just hang on this year. I think Sander Berge is a really good signing, but they've not done much else. They've lost Dean Henderson. I don't think Ramsdale's very good. I think he's good, but I don't think he's as good as Dean Henderson.
Oh, he's a step down. And no, I put Sheffield United overachieved as my kind of one-word answer. And they really don't have McBurney, Mousse are not goal scorers on this level. They perform really well as a side, but again, are they gonna kind of evolve again and be something different, because they were quite similar to their championship winning side with kind of the style as well? They're going to adapt something different. I don't know. I think they will falter, not to the same level you've gone for, but I have them faltering somewhat. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, interesting. So 16th then, I'll go for 16th position, which I have Owen's West Ham in 16th.
Do you? Okay, I have a side you hated last year, but you still don't seem to hate as much this year. I've gone for Crystal Palace.
Yes, and I imagine that is highly dependent on the Zaha, Roy Hodgson.
Literally, I put in there Zaha, Hodgson to stay. If one or two, both those go, right down.
Yeah,
Gone.
I could see a similar thing happen. I think they've tried to ease the reliance on Zaha with the signing of Eze. I'm not sure how
Eze, I go for Eberechi Eze.
Yeah,
how
Eze.
I pronounce it.
But I think they could struggle. I actually have them in 15th. I have them one place above West Ham. But I think West Ham, it's just the toxicity around the club isn't going to help. I think Dave Moyes will do okay. I don't think David Moyes.
They were showing signs after the restart. They were showing signs, weren't they? But the problem I have is that the signs were Antonio well overperforming.
Yes.
And I mean, although a lot of his goals came in like the final game, they were showing signs, and it's a very small sample size. They did really well in that period and really pulled themselves out of it. And it did seem like Moyes was getting it right. But maybe Haller coming back in. Does he? Maybe Antonio still plays because they found a kind of winning formula there. But I have West Ham in 14th.
Yeah, so I just think West Ham have got. It's a similar scenario, I think, to what I predicted last year with Bournemouth. I know Bournemouth went down, but this year I think I've predicted for West Ham to be like, they're not going to be brilliant, but there's definitely going to be three worse teams in them this year. So I don't see West Ham going down, but I don't see them being anything as good as they could. And I really hope, we've talked before about Dave Moyes being a long-term project manager.
Yeah.
And I think the only way, I think they could pull the trigger on him if he doesn't perform well. I think that could be a mistake. If they sell and a new board comes in, then you understand getting rid, because boards always bring in new managers. But I'd like to see him given an opportunity, even if they do finish where I've predicted them in like 16th. So
I agree. I think it would be nice to see David Moyes get back to kind of his reputation, build it back up, and have a good season with them. But I just feel like maybe internally the tide is against him somewhat.
Yes, definitely. So and you've gone, Crystal Palace. You had 16th. I've put them in 15th. I think they'll be safe. They've got a decent.
It's so many of the sides are reliant on goals, isn't it? So. Goal, they're just. I mean, a lot of pressure on Ayew because Benteke, he's just not the player he used to be, and Zaha and Eze can create. Eze has gone to Palace, but does Roy allow? I mean, if Eze and Zaha are playing, that's like the only two players who can do any kind of attacking creativity in that side, because Hodgson isn't exactly free form in his style. He's in his. I think I read he's in his 42nd year of management.
Wow.
40.
That's good. That's really impressive.
That's obscene, isn't it? Really, like he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, You haven't watched it yet, but obviously Spurs all or nothing. I'd love to see behind the scenes like all of it. Imagine if all of them had behind the scenes like that. I'd love to see how different managers work, and like you see meetings between players, and like how does Roy Hodgson meet and chat to the younger players like Eze. Eze's kind of what 20,
Yeah.
and Roy meeting with someone who's probably older than Eze's kind of grandfather. It's
I want to see. I want to see Roy Hodgson getting angry at one player, like in a 1-to-1 situation, because you've seen him get a bit agitated on the sideline for England and Palace and things like that. But I want to know how he does it 1-to-1 with a player. Does it? Because I imagine him can really lose his temper.
Yes.
Really lose his temper. But I'd love to see it if that's possible. Anyway, let's carry on up the table then. So, what have you got in 15th? West Ham, did you say?
Newcastle, I've got 15th. West Ham 14th. So Newcastle, I think they were fortunate last year. It wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility to be worse than this. I just can't see them doing any better than last year.
Okay, I have Newcastle in 14th, just above Crystal Palace. Again, lots of question marks all over the place on my predictions. You can look at them after this if you want and see how many of them have question marks. But yeah, I think Newcastle, similar to you, I don't think they're going to do brilliantly, and I actually think because you told us your surprise package negatively, I've got Newcastle, I've got Steve Bruce as first manager to get sacked, and I think Newcastle will finish where they finish in 14th because of a rejuvenation as soon as Steve Bruce is sacked.
Okay, so you're talking business as normal, Steve Bruce, sack Bruce, surprise.
Yeah. But they're not. I'm not calling Newcastle aren't my surprise package.
Oh right.
I'm just putting it in there to say that the first manager I think will be sacked is Steve Bruce. So that's another one of our predictions. But I do think Newcastle will be pretty crap, and then Steve Bruce will go, and they'll see an increase.
I'll let you know. My first manager to be sacked then is David Moyes.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, but I don't want it to happen. I just feel like they're the most trigger happy of the sides around there.
And do you think they'll do it to take pressure off themselves? Get rid of Moyes.
Yeah, and then it could. I don't think it's going to be a positive move, but
no,
depends on the manager available at that time. So yeah, so I think up to 14th we've got mostly similar sides. So what have you got in 13th?
I've got Leeds.
I've got Sheffield United of my side in 13th.
Okay, yeah, so that's our 13th. So Sheffield United's our biggest differential at the moment because that's 4 places where I've got them in 17th. You've got them in 13th. Yeah. Leeds, I think they'll be solid. I think Bielsa will get them. I think they'll be up like 7th and 8th at the start of the season. I think they'll bamboozle teams and completely like overrun them and then just get knackered towards the end of the season and fall down the table a bit. That's what I predict for Leeds.
Okay.
So
yeah, well, so working up then 12th.
Burnley.
So that's another big one. I've got Burnley. 5 places, isn't it? I've got Brighton in 12th.
Yeah, I've got Burnley. I think for the same reasons you've said they might be near the bottom. I've got them in 12th because it's just Burnley. They're solid. They're not.
Yeah, there's a couple of places dropped from last year. Finished 10th last year. I've got Brighton going up a couple of places because I think Brighton have invested well. They've signed some good players. Obviously, Lallana's back there. I think it's quite a good signing. I've got obviously. His name escapes me now. The Adam White. Sorry, is it Adam White?
Adam Webster or
no? The
the
Ben White.
Ben White. Yeah, Ben White. Yeah.
Coming in, whether he'll get some appearances. And Veltman we spoke about. I think they've got a core of. I mean, obviously, Dunk still there. Matt Ryan still in goal. Mopay can he building his 10 goals and. I think they've got a good side and pocketed well, so I think there'll be a little bit improvement from last year.
See, this is interesting because I have Brighton in 11th. And they're the team that I filled in all the other teams and was like, Brighton, I've got them far too high in 11th. So I've sort of predicted Brighton near you, but accidentally. Because I don't think they're going to be that good, but then I see them being better than the teams that I've predicted to finish below them. So yeah, Brighton 11th.
Okay.
So
my 11th side, Southampton. So the same place as last year. I'm unsure about them. They've got a very high. Their performance last year was Danny Ings related.
Yeah.
And it was probably, I think I'd say, is his best top flight season. It's got to be. And I don't know. I'm unsure about it. I'm unsure that they can repeat that. I think they'll form because they kind of peaked up and down again. I'm not sure how many goals Danny Ings will score again, and they were quite reliant on that. But I don't see them being too far adrift from where they finished last year.
Again, I've got them in 10th, so yeah, we're very close.
But yeah, it's actually reasonably similar in this.
It is. So that in 10th again. Yeah, I think If Danny Ings has a really good season, they could. If Danny Ings repeats what he did, they might push for a European spot. I've gone for Danny Ings having a good start, getting injured, and having a good finish. So
Yeah. So my 10th side are Leeds.
okay.
I think. Yeah. I feel. I won't, because Sheffield United last year finished ninth. It was a newly promoted side. I think they'll probably do similar to Sheffield United. I think they'll probably have a strong start. The intensity obviously fade away, and kind of fluctuate around there. But yeah, I can see them being pretty safe throughout the season as long as Bielsa's in charge and they have a kind of well-drilled side. I mean, they're somewhat reliant on goals. Obviously, they signed Rodrigo for a lot of money. They probably need him to do something. Bamford,
he's not got the best track record with goals, Rodrigo.
No.
So.
And he operates all around the front. He operates off wing and number 10 up top. So he might not be the goal scorer, maybe a creation as well. But yeah, Bamford's not going to be scoring you 10. He's not going to beat Martial and get 18 goals, is he?
He's not. He's definitely not.
Okay.
So what's your ninth then?
Ninth, I've gone for a 3 position improvement from last year. The full season of their new manager, Everton.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I
think.
No, go on, carry on. What's your reasoning behind?
Well, yeah, I mean, Ancelotti their whole season. He's a very good manager. He's signed players he wants. I just don't think they're going to haven't got the. Maybe they'll get up and flirt with the top 6. I don't think they've got the quality to be in the top 6. So basically, I mean, Keane and Holgate. I'd probably rate Holgate better than Keane, but Keane had a decent time under Ancelotti. Right back, I think Coleman's after his injury isn't quite the attacking fullback that he once was. Digne is obviously very good left back, but that's a width quite reliant on fullbacks. Yeah, I think I think I do all right, but it's a real tough ask to get into the top 6. There's a lot of muchness and top sides up there.
Yeah. In ninth, I've actually gone for a very poor season compared to this year for Leicester City.
So a continuation of their second half of the season when they won 4-17.
I just think they're going to struggle quite a lot. I think both of us predicted a similar thing last year, saying they're relying too much on Jamie Vardy's goals, and there's not much else other than that. And he's got to stop at some point.
He's 33. He obviously had a cracking season last year, but again, that burst, wasn't it? And he might have that burst again, but I think last year becomes very apparent the reliance on him, and really sides should kind of be able to kind of offset that. They haven't really signed. I mean, they missed Pereira for chunks of it. I had some injuries. Obviously, Maddison missed out at the end there, and Pereira, and obviously Chilwell's gone, but Luke Thomas came in. They've signed Castagna, who can play a right or left back. There are opportunities. It's a decent squad, a decent side. Some squad players showed a bit more promise, but yeah, it's the goals up front, which is. I mean, Ayoze Perez did what I thought he'd do, just not much really. He's not.
Yeah.
However, he's pretty. Yeah, I mean, apart from Southampton aside, he had a pretty average season, I think.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair enough.
I have them in 7th, though.
You have them. Oh, okay. So what's in the elusive 8th?
Wolves.
Oh, that's our first. Is that our first one? Identical. I've got Wolves in 8th.
It might be our first identical. Yeah, Wolves. Yeah, I think I finished 7th last year. It'd be pretty similar this year. Maybe a little bit weaker in places. I don't know. Like I'm missing Johnny at left back from injury. They're missing obviously Doherty at right back from transfer to the mighty Spurs, and they're key players in that setup. I don't know. It will. I don't know if he'll be able to continue. He had a good season last year. Is he now beyond the kind of the inconsistent Adama Traore? Is he now going to just have a real blowout season this year? Or people sides just completely set themselves up to nullify him, which is difficult. But I think I'll be there or thereabouts. Jimenez, Jota, cracking players. Moutinho getting on a bit. Neves. They've got that consistent core still.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Wolves are just going to be consistent. I think that'll be enough for them this year to push for that 6th, 7th, 8th sort of position. So
yeah,
that'll be good. So 7th and my surprise package of the season, Everton.
Everton. Okay,
Yeah.
so is this a flirting with top six,
It
getting
is.
seventh?
I think Professor Ancelotti, as Alan calls him, I think he'll be. I think he'll get them ticking this year. I think he showed signs of improvement last year. I think he's brought in players that he knows and likes. I think he's brought in players to try and get the most out of Richarlison, and I think he'll get Richarlison firing. I think they'll be pushing sixth. Yeah, I think they'll be pushing that top six quite close this year. Everton, I think they're going to have a very good season.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, and obviously I have Leicester in my seventh place, so
Yep.
we're in top six now.
top six, and who have you gone for in sixth? Because
I have gone for. Oh, you've gone for Spurs, haven't you?
no.
I've gone for Arsenal in sixth.
Arsenal. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I've gone Spurs. yeah,
Yeah.
So
And to be honest with you, I only have Spurs at fifth. I don't have them in top four.
yeah, I've got Arsenal at fifth. So
Yeah. So we just flipped them around. Yeah. I think they'll be consistently better. I think obviously we've shown improvements under both managers. Obviously, Arsenal have managed to re-sign Ceballos. Still not re-signed Aubameyang, but he'll be there. I imagine he'll be there, and it's all going to be ticked off. And Aubameyang just is Arsenal. Without him, they would be. I mean,
they'll fall away.
we've spoken a lot about reliance on goal scorers and strikers. It becomes more pronounced at the top end when you've got to have with top end strikers because they're few and far between. Like Arsenal without Aubameyang is not worth thinking about for them, really.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. And I think I just feel like the only reason I put Arsenal above Spurs, I think, is that consistency of scoring goals. And I know that sounds strange because obviously Harry Kane consistently scores goals, but I think if Harry Kane doesn't score, Spurs will struggle to score. Whereas I think Arsenal, they do have a few more people to call on in terms of like Nketiah looks good in he's looked good in pre-season. He scored
Yeah,
a
the
couple of
hat trick
goals.
for the under 21s.
Yeah, as you say, scored the hat trick for the under 21s. He's
Well, we have other options at the centre forward. We have our options. Well, obviously, Son scores goals, Moura scores goals,
Yeah.
and Lascelles has previously scored goals but hasn't done yet. But I've got Bergwijn scores goals. We have got goals in midfield. But yeah, in terms of options up front, obviously I've got a few more. Obviously, Lacazette is having two £40 million plus
yeah.
forwards is
Do you think they'll
they've
keep
overloaded
Lacazette?
that one.
Do you think he'll
somewhat.
stay?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think he's going to Atletico Madrid?
I thought, yeah, if I was him, I'd move as well. It's clear that Aubameyang's number one, and I just think that he has a lot to offer. I think it'd be good I think he'd be a good fit for Atletico Madrid.
Okay, nice. Into the coveted top four then.
Top four, yes.
Fourth position.
Yes, Manchester United.
Manchester United, yes. We could have identical top fours here, I think.
We do have identical top fours. We have Manchester United, Chelsea,
Liverpool,
Man City.
Yeah.
Yes. So Manchester United, I do feel like you overachieved coming in there. I think like it was just a perfect storm, and you had that good run. It kept on that kind of siege mentality. But I think you're a good side, and you obviously have been improved by Bruno. I mean, surely the penalties can't continue. Surely.
The only thing I'm going to say about those penalties, right, is that they're awarded, they're checked, and they're still awarded. And all of them are probably. I can't think of one that wasn't a penalty. Which one wasn't a penalty that was given?
There was the Bruno one, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, against I want to say it might have been Palace.
I want to say he's on like Villa, but
Oh yeah, Villa. It was Villa. Yeah, you're right. It was Villa, where he tried to do a pirouette and stood on the guy's ankle and won a penalty.
Yeah.
Other than that one, but it still got
I don't know, I
checked
think
by someone else, which is stupid that it was given.
Yeah.
But yeah, they will dry up. There won't be as many penalties, but I think Man United are a massive confidence team, and I think how we ended the season in the Premier League, not so much Europe, but how we ended the season in the Premier League, I think would be huge confidence building for the team in terms of they now know what Bruno can, like how well he's going to do and how well he can do, and Pogba seems more committed. Van der Beek's joined. We've got Martial was firing. Rashford was doing well. Tailed off a little bit, but Rashford was doing well. And it looked, I'm confident of. I'm much more confident this season of top four than I was last season. Put it that way.
Okay.
So.
Chelsea then. We both put them third.
Yeah. And we've discussed them a lot on this podcast about not reinforcing in the right places.
We have, and we also. I'm also torn because I feel like they surely can't fail to do that. And I just I don't think the pressure's going to be on Lampard from the media. I think he's just too likable and too affable for. But he won't get the pressure he deserves.
Agreed.
And he'll put that pressure on himself, and there will be internal pressure because Abramovich is ruthless. But I don't know. I just feel like they just can't fail to improve and do better with that attacking talent. And obviously, it takes a lot of time for it to form and blend. But
Okay,
he's always got players to fall back on from last year as well.
Question for you then.
Squad.
A question for you. Would you say, and it's strange because we've both put Man United in fourth, but would you say, or who is more likely to drop out of that top four, Man United or Chelsea?
Chelsea?
Yeah, which is weird that we've both then put Chelsea at third and Man United in fourth because you think it might be the other way around. But I think if the thing I've got is that I still can picture Chelsea just being this Kevin Keegan of the 90s Newcastle team where, well, it doesn't matter how we defend. We'll give them a chance, but if we just go and score 3 every game, then brilliant. And if it clicks, second could be on the cards. They could be pushing Liverpool and Man City to try and take that second spot. If it doesn't click, it could be 6th or 7th. That's the problem. That's the difference I've got in my head. And
it can be stopped because obviously, as I've always said, and I've already said on this podcast, players adapting to new leagues is not a done deal straight away. It's difficult, especially young players who haven't got that full experience. So you've got Havertz, players, this is the first time they've moved out of their native league, isn't it? Havertz always played in Germany. Werner always played in Germany. Ziyech always played in Holland.
Yeah.
Chilwell's big move. Never been away from Leicester apart from a couple of loans, I think. Who else space on? Obviously, Tiger Silva's obviously moved around a fair bit, but this is some players' their first kind of big move, and we saw Pulisic come in and took months to adapt, and then he flashes. His hat-trick against Burnley, then out the side again, but he's got more players who are now flashes, might be flashes, but obviously still has players beneath that. But my concern is how he manages that squad. How's Abraham? How's Mason Mount? How's some players are going to have to go, obviously. Surely Barkley's days are numbered.
Yeah. But I tell you what, though, Lampard is banking on going deep into competitions. If they get knocked out early doors of the League Cup on the FA Cup, then that's a lot of players he's going to struggle to keep happy with game time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, then. So we've both gone number 1, City, number 2, Liverpool. Thoughts behind it? I mean, it's always harder to retain the title. That's my main thinking.
Retain the title. Liverpool players now, they've won it all. Liverpool players have won it all. They haven't won the FA Cup and League Cup, but in terms of this main competition we're talking about, they've won the Premier League now.
Yeah.
Do they have a desire to go again after a really 2 massively hard seasons? Like in terms of mental strain, like the first one was a real mental strain. They didn't quite get there. The relief now they would have felt after getting there and getting another kind of 90+ point season. I'm not sure. So obviously the first time they were just chasing. City got there. Second season they were chasing and to pull away and to make, because Man City behind them to get the title. They've now got the title. Do they have that desire? We saw it with Man City last year. They didn't have a desire to do it. They've got a number of league titles in the bag, and it was all about mentality. Because as soon as Liverpool won the title, mentality dropped and points were dropped. And I just don't think they've got that winning mentality to go again to win a title.
I just think I do agree with you on that, and think it's going to be a mentality thing. I think Liverpool players will have the mentality to want to win it, and I don't think that'll be an issue. I think the mentality of Man City is just going to be, oh my word, that to a club like Man City, that was embarrassing last year. Like how
many games they lost.
Yeah, how easily Liverpool won it, how many games they lost, what sort of a difference it was. And I think that's going to be, they're just going to be so up for winning it. And they'll want to win the Champions League. They'll want to win the League Cup. They'll want to win the FA Cup. And I think at the end of the day, the Premier League's over the whole season. And I think they're going to go back to absolutely steamrollering some teams. And it's going to be, I could see Man City winning it very early. Very early. I can see more teams taking points off Liverpool than they do Man City early on in the season. And I think Man City will win it, annoyingly. There isn't really a right or a wrong answer for me with Man City and Liverpool. So, yeah, I think I'd rather very slightly Man City to win it rather than Liverpool. So
yeah, I know. I mean, they're both very good sides.
Yeah.
Excellent sides. So
Okay, so that's the league done, and we have some other predictions that we go through. So very quickly then, Golden Boot, who have you got?
Aubameyang I've gone for.
Aubameyang. I've gone Sergio Aguero.
Yeah, quite good shouts. No one left field there.
First manager to be sacked. I've said Steve Bruce. You said Dave Moyes. Yeah.
Yep. Did have Steve Bruce now. I think that's a good shout as well.
Yeah. Surprise package. Everton positively for me. You went
Burnley negatively.
Negatively. The big one, League Cup winner.
League Cup, Man City. They seem to take it strangely seriously.
That's very. Yeah, they do. They really do. I've gone Arsenal. I think Arteta will get another trophy. It'll be the League Cup this time.
That'd be good. Yeah.
FA Cup. Oh, get out!
Tottenham Hotspur, major trophy.
Get out. I've gone Chelsea purely because I think in one-off games that strike force and that firepower will just be able to win it for them. And I found Europa League and Champions League. I found very tough to predict. Europa League first. What have you gone English? Have you gone? Oh, you're joking me! No way, Josh. No, that's not happening.
Mourinho's won it before.
So?
And we're going to be investing this. It was like last year, his motivation for the side after we knew we weren't going to get Champions League. It's like, don't think about getting into the Champions League or Europa League. Think about we can win the Europa League. They will be all guns blazing for that. Yeah.
Okay. I've gone for Roma.
Okay.
Consistent in Serie A last season. I think they'll bring some players in. If they bring on Super Chris Smalling at the back, he's won it before. So, in your logic, yeah. Champions League.
I'm going to keep banging this drum until they win it. Man City again.
Oh, I've gone Bayern to retain.
I mean, they did.
Absolute juggernaut. They destroyed everybody in their wake. They're not going to sell. They're not going to sell anyone that's important to them. Like Thiago Alcantara barely played for them, like in the Champions League anyway. And then, if anything, they'll recruit. If they look like they're struggling around January, they'll just go and recruit the best players in the Bundesliga anyway. So, and I think
that's a fair shout. Yeah,
I think back to back, and that is all of our predictions. It's been a pretty long stint to going through them all, but I do enjoy it, Josh, and. We'll do like we did last year. We'll come back at the halfway point around January and, COVID notwithstanding. There's no game postponements and stuff. But we'll come back around January at the halfway point to see how we're doing against them. And then end of the season is the big, how badly did we mess this up? But who knows? Yes. We may be rich.
And strangely, we're so consistent. We've got very similar. We both, neither of us know about football if we get this wrong. We've got the same top four and the same bottom three.
Yeah.
We're not in the same order, but we're same top six and same bottom three. So it's going to be a boring seasonal because we just called it.
Yeah, exactly. Can you remember when BT did that script last season and it turned out to be they got most of it wrong?
Did they?
Yeah. If BT can get it wrong, we can get it wrong. So that's fine. We have gone over time because it mainly is the technical issues of lack of internet. Stop bringing it up, Dave. But yeah, very quickly then, Josh. Very quickly. Yes. I got a wiki file. Here comes a wiki file. I got a wiki file for you. Hey! So, on the screen right now is the wiki file. Josh, if you see it, say it. Say it.
I mean, how quickly do you want it? Because I've got it.
Oh, I thought you would. Who is it?
Raymond van der Houw.
It is Raymond van der Houw. Have we had it before?
I don't know. It's just the... I don't know. I think Go Ahead Eagles I've read about recently, and
you're always reading about stuff in football.
Wikipedia, I love Wikipedia. Oh, Go Ahead Eagles, because they were originally called something like Run Fast or something like that. Called something speedy, and then I read they were managed by a Welshman who added Eagles later on, and there
you go, Raymond van der Houw.
He scored a goal though. Well done for you to score a goal, Raymond van der Houw.
He did, and lovely. He scored a goal for his last club, which I think is brilliant. What a way to end!
That is a lovely way to end. Unfortunately, it wasn't a lovely way. He didn't bookend his career. Didn't go Ahead Eagles again.
Well, there you go. He didn't bookend it. But we've got one last question, Josh, from MM11. Are Spurs a bigger football team in London? I think they mean biggest. Are Spurs the biggest football team in London? I'll let you answer that, being a Spurs fan.
No, I'd say Chelsea are the biggest team in London.
Chelsea, there you go. Heard it from a Spurs fan. Chelsea are the biggest team in London.
Yeah, they've won a lot. It's funny, I remember on Twitter a while back talking about what defines biggest team. Is it stadium? Is it trophies? Is it fan base? But I think they've probably all got similar fan bases, and Spurs obviously have a better stadium. But what Chelsea have won just kind of dwarfs it. They've bought it. I'm not going to say that they haven't bought it. The billionaire ownership of Abramovich has obviously created that. But players now, like Spurs wouldn't be able to attract the players that Chelsea can attract, and the kind of the worldwide coverage. And the trophies one, they're definitely a better, bigger side and better side.
Thank you very much. Well, we will end it on that question. It was a good little last question to answer. So, well, if you want to catch up on our back catalogue, you can find it over on YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Just search for Football Talk or Michael Ballsack if you're feeling brave. And then it still hits us. Like if you search for that, we're still the number one find, which is great. And yeah, you can talk to us on Twitter, where we're going to be putting out what bets we're doing on in the week. I just about got that out, trying to remember what the social media platform was. Yeah, on Twitter. You can find us at Football Talk, but remember,
there's no A in football.
There's no A in football. All the links are in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week with our first reviews of the first Premier League games on a Saturday, which will be very, very exciting. Can't wait. Bring it back. Football's back, Josh. Football's back. Come on. Right. Thank you all so much for listening. But for now, we're out. Cheers.